Hello, I'm going to do another quick Twitch stream here, and I'm going to demonstrate a bug fix that I just made for Sega's Ixion, a prototype from 1983. Now, Ixion has been in MAME for, well, 20 years. That's kind of what surprised me when I was looking at this bug. I added it 20 years ago, May 2001, and not really looked at it all that much since. But I was looking at things I could possibly stream, and I thought, well, Ixion, this is a nice, memorable game. It's kind of like if Sega did a Namco game, a single screen, shooty game with unique mechanics. And I fired it with MAME. When I fired it up, I realised that at some point the priority in the game had regressed, and that sprites were being hidden by some of the tiles, which was wrong. But I also noticed there were other issues with strange colours that didn't look quite right, and so I took another look into the driver and realised for the entire 20 years it's been emulated, I'd managed to hook up the text palette incorrectly, and it was using the wrong attributes for each of the tiles. So that's slightly embarrassing, but apparently nobody noticed or fixed it in those 20 years. Maybe due to it being a prototype and nobody having reference material. But it was definitely wrong. So now if I coin this up, you can see that the score text is in white. And that's kind of important to note because before it was appearing in yellow, and the Ixion letters at the top now light up as you collect the Ixion letters on the grid. Before they did not, and so you didn't really know which letters you'd picked up, although you would pick them all up in order anyway, so it didn't make too much difference in practice, but it was definitely wrong, and now it looks correct. Now the game itself is controlled by a joystick and a spinner, or maybe it was intended for, one of those twisty joysticks, and each stage is timed, and you've got these balls bouncing around that you can shoot to move them, and they either erase tiles or fill in tiles. The yellow ones fill in tiles. You'll later see red ones erase tiles. I'm just going to turn the volume down a little bit because it's quite a loud game, and that's one of the other things about this. There have been recent sound emulation improvements. I think it improved when Aaron was looking at all the Sega soundboards. You see here now I can't get to the O, but if I shoot this yellow ball in the right direction, I can potentially make myself a path to the O. There we go, you see. Now I can get to the O and collect the O. I can't get to the N now, so I can try and shoot this down here. Yep, there we go. And get to the N, and then I get a bonus round. And the bonus round is a case of, shoot these things and try to heal as many tiles as possible within the time limit. So there we go. I managed to get some of them healed, not all of them. But that's the basic structure of the game. And like I say, it reminds me a lot of more of a Namco game than a Sega game. And it's a real shame it wasn't released, because I think it actually stands out amongst the other games at the period. I mean, it's running on a Zaxxon hardware light board, and I'd much rather play this than Zaxxon, as a personal preference. Zaxxon is not one of the games I really enjoy. I just find it far too difficult, and that's a criticism often levied at Zaxxon. And this isn't easy, but it's got that nice fast pace to it. Right there. Let's make some paths that I can actually go. Oh dear, I got hit. Very easy to game over, and being a classic game, you don't get to continue. So game over is game over. Let's put another credit in. So yeah. Just plays a lot. Now you can complete the level by just going over the ball like that, which I find to be an odd mechanic. I did do that earlier. I don't know if there are any benefits to that, doing that early or anything else. I'm not fully aware of all the mechanics in this game. Now I'm stuck up here, so I've got to try and shoot this ball to get me out. No, that's not going to work. You've got to be very careful about where you move, because if you do get stuck, your only hope is to try and fire off this ball. I mean, you've got a good dial control, so you have a good number of directions you can aim in. At least I think the levels are timed. I mean, there's a timer going around, So I'm doing worse this time. I'm doing far worse. I didn't even beat the first level or second level that time, did I? So it's challenging. I mean, I've not even gotten the high scoreboard yet. I'm going to keep playing for a little bit. So yeah, let's see how long I can play this game for. So there we go, got this. Come on, don't get trapped. Shoot you. Let's make some more paths. Let's get some more letters. And I've spelled Ixion, get bonus round. Oh, not doing the kill. So how many of these can I clear in the time? Can I get them all? Again, if you touch the ball, it ends the bonus round, which is what happened last time I did it. But yeah, I'm guessing that nobody watching is going to have played this game in an arcade, because it just seems to be one of those that, outside of, you know, the prototype being dumped, you don't really see mentioned. So, it's one we're lucky to have access to at all, I would say. As such, there's not a huge amount of background information in it, though. So yeah, time expired, that completes the level 2. Yeah, classic arcade action, this one. Yeah. I mean, it reminds me, I put it there with, say, Namco's Motos and things like that, as games that maybe don't get the attention they deserve, but Motos was released, at least. Motos has you pushing things off the grid. It's very different gameplay, but still, to me this is more Namco style gameplay than Sega, as I mentioned. But yeah, I can't. No, it's a very rare game. I'm not surprised. I mean, there's so little information about it, but it seems mostly complete. I mean, I'd say there is a complete game here. I think there was meant to be a port to one of the home systems too, I was reading, and that was also cancelled. Not surprising really, if an arcade game gets cancelled, then your ports tend to not come out. But, you know, it sounds great, and anything with a twisty dial controller has an extra bit of appeal to it. It's something more than just a joystick. At the moment I'm just using a mouse for the dial, so I get the quick rotation. It's not always an ideal way of playing, you know, arcade games. But cases like this, a mouse works fine. Let's finish that level quickly. I would like to get a bit further this time, but you know, I could just jump my way through the level like this and see how far I get. I don't know if there's any punishment for trying to rush your way through the levels just by getting the ball, but we can see. Oh, I got a spelled Ixion just by doing that. And we get another bonus round with more balls to shoot and avoid. Come on, let me. No, I couldn't move out of the way. Changes colour a little bit. There, we've got the red ball now that actually destroys tiles, which is a real problem because you can trap yourself by shooting that one. So, you know, that ups the difficulty once you get to this point significantly. Because right now I can't get to half the board, and I got shot. So yeah, that was a better game. Although I did skip through most of the levels just by picking up the ball, and still didn't manage to get on the high score table. But you know, I guess. So how many stages can you just do this for then? Let's just find out, because there must be some reason not to just do this, unless you know you're just denying yourself lots of points. And it's one way to get the red ball already now. Oh dear, that was a mistake. And there's still a challenge here. Look, here. Come on. No. Even my cheese my way through it technique is not working at the moment. So you know, it doesn't actually take away the challenge. Once you get to the tricky levels, it's still tricky. I guess maybe it just gives you a quicker way to get to them, which is better than having to play easier levels for too long, but so you will be denying yourself a lot of score by doing that. It's got nice crunchy sound effects here too. Not all the games in Zaxxon Driver have full sound emulation yet, but this one I think the sounds are now complete. There we go. Yeah, it's one I recommend people give a try if they haven't. Especially if you've got a cabinet with some kind of spinner control. You know, not every cabinet has. But I'm sure you can play it without the proper spinner, just a second stick, you know. Got a dual stick set up for Robotron, you can probably map a fixed rotation speed with a second stick. Or even just 2 buttons really. It's not ideal, but it's still playable. I was debating whether to play it on with 2 extra keys rather than the proper rotation. But the extra ability to rotate quickly gives you a bit of an advantage. Let's keep going. Now, when I was looking at this, I did notice there are still some unused bits in the second colour prom, the one that was being incorrectly used before. I don't know if that's just leftover garbage or if there is still something wrong with the emulation. It doesn't really make that much sense to me. I mean, the way the second prom is used at the moment is the lower 4 bits each apply to one of the tiles on screen. So, you know, 4 bits per location to assign the palette, which isn't very flexible, but is how, you know, the Zaxxon hardware works. The Zaxxon hardware itself, you know, the backgrounds are just one big hard-coded tile map too that gets scrolled. I'll show you that in a second actually. So it might just be that there are unused bits in the prom that weren't cleared out, or it might be there's something else missing. But again, without an actual reference, it's hard to know, and these days if you find a reference it's probably going to be somebody converting a Zaxxon board or a Razzmatazz board, and it probably won't fully represent what the prototype was. Which is a problem. You know, original references can't always be trusted if people have done them by converting boards. And unfortunately, we've seen a bit more of that lately. Here, what I was saying about the tile map. If you go into the tile map viewer, you see the background tile maps are all like that. So those are all your backgrounds, and it just scrolls the different positions of that to animate it and everything. To clear the tiles, it's actually using the foreground tile layer, which, I mean, you can't see it in the viewer. But it draws a black tile on that layer, and that blacks out a tile on the grid, which is where the priority was going wrong, because this tile map was being displayed over the sprites, which means it was blacking out the sprites with the black tiles. On the other games, that tile map definitely does have to be above the sprites, but it seems that on Ixion something had been modified on the board so that they appear below it. I don't know, you know, there's no obvious register it rights to change the priority, and apparently the schematics don't show anything to change priority. So it must either be a slightly different board or a modification to the board to handle the alternative priority. But yeah, it's a good fun game. I'll give it another credit and then I'll probably move on to a different game. So here we go. Let's try and... You only have 4-way movement on the actual main player. I think 8-way movement would have made it a bit more confusing because the entire game is tile-based and you'd probably be getting stuck on the edge of tiles. But I'm not sure. It's a 4-way game anyway. You can only move in entire tiles anyway. I mean, if you press the direction once, you move an entire tile. So you can't sort of move halfway between tiles. And again, I guess that's just to make manoeuvring as easy as possible. And if we hadn't been told this was a prototype, I wouldn't have guessed it was a prototype. You know, it's not one of those that feels obviously unfinished. I think I mentioned that. It's I think maybe it also reminds me of some UPL games a little bit. They sort of often have this fast-paced feel to them. Not quite as many colours cycling as a UPL game. But yeah, but for 83, I think this is very impressive. No. I can't get to the end. Oh, okay. I didn't mean to finish the level there, but let's finish this level. Can't get to that one. Oh, come on, come to me. Come on. There we go. Finished. Oh dear. And that's me dead. Oh well. You know, I've had a bit of fun with that. That's sort of almost 20 minutes of Ixion. And I mean, the pull request hasn't been merged in yet for the next release, but I imagine it will be, because it's quite clear there were errors in the previous emulation and the pull request just fixed them. So hopefully that is one for everybody to look forward to for the release at the end of this month, if it all gets merged in. If you want to merge the pull request yourself in your local tree, you know, you can just append .diff to the end of the URL and apply it with the local patch tool, or one of many other ways to do it. You know, clone the specific part of the repository to your local PC, but you can just wait till the end of the month if you prefer. Yeah, if you've played it before and felt it was a bit broken, give it another look, because yeah, it was definitely broken. I just wish there'd been, you know, reports saying it was broken, because it might have been fixed a bit sooner than the 20 years it's taken to take another look at it and fix it. But at least it's now better than it was. Sorry about that. Right. Okay, I'm going to go with another Sega vertical game. Sega's Astro Blaster from '81. This is another where there was some sound work on the netlist sound device. So it's now got boomy netlist audio in the mix. So, you know, one of those classic Sega games. The sound does add a lot in these as well. One of the big developments in the last year of MAME was the discrete sound emulation. And these are cheeky little aliens that always seem to try and move out of the way. The movement pattern is not what feels natural, and they just seem to be evading you the whole time. And obviously you've got to keep your temperature reasonable. Yeah, laser temperature critical. Let's cool down a bit. Now, one of the clones of this, the earliest one, actually doesn't work. It just resets as soon as you coin it up. I had for a long time just assumed it was a bad dump, but given the recent fixes I did for Tranquillizer Gun and Carnival clones, I'm starting to wonder if maybe there's a protection check or something I missed. It could just be a bad dump, I've not looked at the code yet, but maybe the latest revision has protection. Definitely needs somebody to look at it though, so I might end up doing that and seeing if I can find any reason why it resets. I don't want the warp activate. Another one of those where you shoot fuel to pick fuel up. Yeah, I need to dodge now, otherwise I'm going to overheat quite badly. Stand by to dock. Come on. There we go. So no, Afterburner was not the first time Sega had a docking sequence. This has a nice fuel docking sequence. Obviously, docking sequences were in things like Moon Cresta as well, though that wasn't Sega. The medal ships. Come on. They're very tricky to hit, these ones. Oh. There we go. Yeah, this tends not to get talked about as much as, say, Phoenix and the other early classic shooters, which is a shame. Obviously, it doesn't do quite as much as things like Phoenix. It's just wave after wave of enemies in the docking sequence. But it's a solid shooter for an 81 game. And it's got the speech and yeah, classic Sega. Oh dear. Yes. Extreme caution. Nope, couldn't avoid that. Play over. Not game over, play over. Gremlin / Sega's Astro Blaster. There's a title screen for you. And we've got this classic blue background as well during the attract mode. So many of these old games use blue backgrounds. Yeah, why does warp slow down ships? You would have thought warp would speed up ships. But you know, in this game warp is a slow down. But it spells out, you know, how to play it. I mean, I think 0.6 is kind of obvious. Maybe 0.7 is too, although you might think you'd blow up if you fired too much, but there you go. Very simple looking attract sequence. I think maybe it spends too long on this attract sequence and not enough time on the game. It's one of those mistakes you sometimes find. Oh, and it's gone all red. But there you go. Astro Blaster. Nice bit of a track speech too, telling you to come and play the game. I do like these early use of speech chips. Anyway, I think I'm not going to play another coin of that. I'm going to have a look at a different Sega game. And this one might also be a prototype. What's the set name? Comb. This is Combat Hawk. Sanritsu Sega 87. Feels very late on 87 for what this is. Let's just go with some change of keys. Now, one reason I think this one's a prototype is it really doesn't have an attract demo at all. It would do this, and then it would just repeat it again and again and again. See, this is your attract demo. It shows no gameplay whatsoever. So this is telling you nothing about how you play the game. And that is rare. To me, that says this game's not finished. You know, it's for show use or something like that. But what you have is basically a sequel to Bank Panic, but with the military theme. You've got your 3 buttons. I probably shouldn't have selected the medium difficulty, but there you go. And then we base North Point first stage, basically. So yeah, you've got your, you've got your 3 doors that open just like Bank Panic. Now you've also got to go up as well. You know, and then if you get shot, you fall back down. It's quite tricky, actually, this one. No, shot the person I'm not meant to shoot. Lost a life. You can look up and down at any point. No, did the same again. Yes, I shot a scientist. And I blow up. We expect you to next challenge. I don't know. After that performance, I think calling on me again is a mistake. But, yeah. Try again, Combat Hawk. Okay, I'll try again. Because that was not a good performance. Let's go with Falcon. That should be the easier mode. There's less bonus. This one, it does seem to get overlooked. Which surprises me because Bank Panic is one of Sega's more popular games. I get the energy. Now, I think the the display is telling you also where the enemies are, but I'm not sure. So that's the first floor. No! I'd realised that too late. So is the first floor safe? Do I go to the fourth? No, do I go to the second floor? Maybe. Go to the fourth floor, I think. No! Bit trigger happy here. Like you say, if you ever played Bank Panic, I'm sure you'll recognise the 3 doors, people appearing mechanic, and it is just that. I think they go to floor 2. Floor 2 clear? Oh. Floor 3 is clear. Now obviously as you're in a chopper there is a fuel meter. You have to be careful of that. I don't actually know how you refuel either. There must be a way to refuel. Maybe I'll just go to the bottom, I'm not sure. No, I ran out of fuel. And blew up. Now, like I said, I don't fully understand the mechanics of this game because it's one I added to the driver and didn't really spend much time playing. Just made sure it worked. I mean, maybe there's not actually much to the game. But I'll keep playing it for a little bit and see if I get anywhere. See if I learn anything. Again, there's no track demo to give me an indication of what I'm meant to do beyond shoot things. I mean, there's clearly meant to be 5 stages. No. So easy to shoot the scientists. Oh. See, my fuel doesn't seem to be going down as much now. I've not quite worked out that mechanic yet. Nope, you're not getting shot. I think if you shoot the medal after they vanish, you probably get bonus. Now my fuel is going down. That doesn't restore fuel. Dip switches or anything? I mean, there's no other buttons according to that. You can configure how much fuel you get, but it's on maximum. It's on easy apparently. Give myself an extra life, yeah. See if I can do anything more. And there must be a way to progress. I'm sure there must be. I noticed it was counting medals. Now you get a medal for each person you don't shoot. Maybe that's significant. Oh, each scientist you don't shoot, should I say? But then the scientists don't seem to come out that frequently. Oh, I got shot. Oh dear. A second medal. No. Oh. I'm not going to get very far if I keep shooting the scientists, I'll tell you that much. Now, do I have to go to state 4 or 5? 3 will do, won't it? There's... I'm not doing any better. Now, fuel's going to, I don't understand the fuel decrease either. Now it's going down really quickly, when a minute ago it wasn't going down at all. So yeah, there are things about this game that don't seem logical to me. Either that. Oh, we're getting the whole thing that happened last time with where all these super chat donations from YouTube are going to come through on Twitch for no apparent reason. That's confusing. So these are all donations from the previous week, which I was very grateful of, but I don't know why they're coming through on Twitch. It did this last time. It's clearly something broken. Because Twitch does not use Super Chat. Something's up with Streamlabs. So it's after 34 minutes this time it's done it. Okay, I'll note that. Might be important. I might have to set up a different Streamlab accounts just for Twitch if it keeps doing it. Just sharing accounts seems to be confusing it. No, you don't shoot the middle then. It just adds up to the tally up there. But I'm not going to be able to fill that bar before the time runs out for the stage. The fuel runs out, am I? So there's something I'm not understanding in this game. Because there we go, I ran out of fuel. And I've not seen any way to refuel. Unless there is an input missing or something. But, you know, it's not obvious. And fuel's already going down very quickly again. So I'm not even getting any more hostages to get medals, and I've been shot again. Maybe I need to look at see if there's any good replays of this on MARP or the like, see if anybody's got a strategy I'm unaware of with it. So, unless there's one hostage on each floor. There's another hostage, okay. No more hostages here, just people to shoot. No, and there's a hostage there, but I shot her. Yeah, it's a confusing one, this. I might have to look up and see if there's a strategy I'm missing. Or if the unknown dip switch does anything, it probably won't. I'll get one more credit anyway. Just, yeah. If anybody knows, please do let me know. Come on. I'll rescue you. Oh, not going well. I think I have to go to... not going to shoot you. It's more like it. Fuel's going down again, quickly. Maybe it's missing some left and right too, but no indication of that. Again, I see no way to prevent me just running out of fuel now and dying. So I can go to the bottom, try to, but I don't think it makes you land. I still run out of fuel at the bottom. So, nobody there. And I've got shot. I'm just going to check. The time map is just, yeah, the time map's no wider. It's just that. So it's slightly confusing. Shoot while I'm going up. That doesn't really help me. I'll have to research this afterwards because, you know, it seems a game you have no choice but to eventually die on at the moment. I don't know. It's an odd one. No real track mode and gameplay that doesn't entirely make sense to me. Unless the two are connected, unless there's a key being pressed that's cancelling the attract mode. That would be rare. There's not many games that actually let you interrupt the attract mode. Didn't come close to that high scoreboard. Shall we have another look at a even worse Sega prototype? This one was again dumped recently, and this one you can tell this is just bad. This is Wanted by Sega. 82 Victual. Apparently there's some thought that it's missing a hyperspace type button, but I've looked at the code and I see no evidence of one. And this is sort of Wild West Pac-Man type thing, but it's so awkward to play. And there's no sound, it's Victual hardware, it's discrete sound that's not emulated. You know, you've got your teleport button. Sorry, yeah, it's just something teleports you to a random place. But otherwise, I can't even remember what you're meant to be doing. I think you're meant to be stopping. I think you're meant to be getting the guy in yellow, stopping him from robbing the train. Obviously, not working on the bomb. But how do you stop him? You know, he's managed to rob the train, and now he reappears over here, and he just almost perfectly evades you most of the time, and then you run into these other guys. And there's multiple stages of this with increasingly difficult layout, and maybe that's what they're going for, but the gameplay is severely lacking in this one. The clue that this one is likely a prototype is that one of the ROMs is completely empty, and usually you find that on prototype boards where they'll just burn a complete set of ROMs, even if they're not finished, you know, adding the content for them yet. You can't get to them that way. So your best bet on a lot of these seems to just be using the random teleport button and hoping you appear somewhere more useful. But you have limited teleports, and most of the time, you know, you don't. So I've not managed to appear anywhere more useful with those teleports. And therefore, I've got to try and stop the train being robbed again. But you don't seem to have any offensive movement. This might be why it's marked as imperfect controls, because you can't shoot. And I couldn't find a shoot input when I was looking for the imports. So, is something missing? So I'm not going to get to you before you exit the screen. This is why it's still sort of marked as not working, because it's really not obvious what strategy you're meant to be using. There we go, you see I caught him this time. And there we get this stage, which is, you know, again, catch this guy, avoid the other guys. That's an easier stage. I mean, if there is a missing fire button, yeah, it would make more sense. And now he's trying to bust his friends out of jail. But you've got to stop him doing that. But again, you've trapped him by all these people. And there he's got it. And once he's got his friend, you pretty much stand no chance of getting it back. I don't know. I'd probably need to pull the code apart and see if there's something we're missing with it. Because to me, even for a prototype concept, this feels close to unplayable without some offensive maneuver. But then if you had an offensive maneuver, it might be too easy. And you've got to remember, this is 82. This is the demo doesn't seem to do anything offensive either, which is one of the things that I'm thinking maybe it's not missing any controls, unless I missed something in the demo. You know, now you're going to get to the exit, aren't you? Yeah, or not? No, you've not even stolen the money yet. He is a bit slower than you when he's got a bag of money, but not enough for it to always help. Coming this way now. But yeah, this was well after Pac-Man and doesn't look anywhere near as good as Pac-Man. When he's not got the bag of money, he's just the same speed as you are, so it's like, I've teleported up here, and that's not helped me. I've probably given him a free route to the anything he wants now. Oh, there we go. And I think there are only the 3 stages, then you get a big, you know, a big reward screen. But I don't know. This, yeah, you've stolen one of the cows, but you got caught anyway. It's an idea, it's a concept, and you've already started right next to the cell and broke him out of jail. If I teleport somewhere, I'm gonna get there. But you're far too fast and you get to the exit. Teleport. No, that's not useful. That's even less useful. Never teleport you anywhere useful. Come on. There we go. Got him. Good. Next challenge, start. You get the poster again. Okay, you don't get the big reward poster yet. There is a poster at the end at some point that I thought you got, but now it's looped, you see. You get this again. I think there's one extra enemy now, isn't there? And I'm guessing not many people will have played this one because it was a recent edition that really didn't get much in the way of coverage when it was added. I don't think it's Sega's finest work. But, you know, if you're looking at protos and things you might have missed in recent years of MAME, this is one of them. No, I'm not going to get you. You're going to get out. Oh, I forgot that's a barrier. Game over. There you go. You see, the attract mode is not, to my knowledge, showing any other mechanic. It's the same thing repeated. And the stages, the difficulty of them doesn't really balance out either. I mean, this one, it's trying to steal from the train. The other one, there's tons of cows, so I guess that stage is going to take forever for them to steal it. If they manage to steal the money or break everybody out of jail, I think you get a different game over screen, a sort of a "you're fired" type one, from what I remember. Let me just try that actually. My memory might be trying to play. Oh, it might be after you completed all, you know, a certain number of stages. I played it a bit when it was added, but I don't know. Come on. You do get slightly better at it like that. You know, I got through the first stage fairly easily then. But sometimes it's luck, because the enemy movements just seem random. Yeah, come on. Now, can I survive long enough to let them break everybody out? There you go, you've got that guy out. Come back for your friend. Going the long way, are you? I'm going to teleport out the way of these guys. Coming back for the last one? Of course you are. I mean, it might work as an interesting two-player game if it had versus play of one player trying to rescue the people and the other trying to stop you, but it doesn't have that. Get out. I'm giving you every chance. Go on. Make a run for it. Oh, I got blown up. I got blown up at the last second, so they didn't actually manage to get everybody out. Fantastic. When you try to fail and you fail at failing. Yeah, unfortunately no sound, even though there's been discrete sound added to some of the other games in the driver, like Tranquillizer Gun, which I might put on next if we're on a Sega theme here. This one doesn't have sound yet. Borderline got sound too. Borderlands is something very different. There we go. You've managed to... Yeah, there you go. We've got this fired screen. But why is there more of a reward for failing than succeeding? Because you don't get a nice screen if you succeed, but if you fail, you get that fired screen there, which again a bit prototypey. You know, maybe they've created this your fired screen, but not actually created a you won, you successfully completed the loop screen. But yeah, this is Wanted by Sega, which apparently wasn't wanted. There you go. Right, actually Borderline first. Let's play Borderline. Now there's some debate whether these sounds are actually the real Borderline sounds, or because there's the same soundboard as Tranquillizer Gun, but we have samples from a different Borderline board that was actually a bootleg board, but it had like a little bit of music on startup and things like that. So, and we know there was a Tranquillizer Gun to Borderline conversion, but the ROM set for that is incomplete. But maybe the schematics we've got are for that. It's not really entirely clear. Or if the bootleggers just did their own sound system. It's a little bit quiet actually, isn't it? But, yeah, this is Borderline. Another game, the same hardware, Victual hardware. I mean, the hardware is not really made for scrolling or anything else, so anything scrolling is, you know, pushing it. That's why it's all tile based. It's a bit like having an old computer, 8-bit computer game, and the way they do scrolling on those. Pardon me. There we go. Now there is a clone of this. I think it's called Star Acre, which is more or less the same game but reskinned. But it seems to be for maybe for the German market. The only file we've got is German, and it also has some sort of scanner thing on it. And at the moment, actually, that hangs waiting for the scanner to respond after a game. I think, unless I changed that. I noticed it, but I don't know if I actually submitted code to change it. On this stage, you've got to destroy the things at the top. It's one of those games where you start to get good after a while. It takes a little bit of warming up each time and getting back into the flow of things. Otherwise, you just do that and yeah, game over very quickly. Not as good as Tranquillizer Gun. Tranquillizer Gun is one of those games I found really surprising, actually, because I'd always written it off and thought it didn't seem very much fun. And I'm assuming most people had as well, because it's another one of those that was actually broken for the whole 20 years it was emulated. It would just reset after a certain, like stage 3. Maybe people didn't know how to advance the stages because it's not too obvious on that one. Well, I'll come to that one when I start looking at Tranquillizer Gun in a bit. So I'm probably aiming to stream for about an hour and a half. These Twitch streams are generally going to be a bit shorter for now, until maybe there's a bit more of an audience on here. Because otherwise, you know, you lose the interaction with people that I'm getting on YouTube, and I know people will be enjoying it on catch up. Also, I need to fix that issue with it showing the previous donations, because, like I say, they're fantastic donations, but they're not ones that are happening live. Zypho did give a trick about logging out of Streamlabs completely and logging back in, but that doesn't seem to have helped here. go. That's that level complete. Then this level again is destroy the things at the top. Luckily you can shoot the shots, which is sometimes what saves you. Oh, don't crash into the actual tanks though. Straight up the middle. Come on. No. Trickier than it looks. Especially because your shots alternate between left and right, so you can't always shoot. You can't shoot down the middle. I should be able to clear the stage though, but I failed to. One more credit. Now, I seem to recall from memory this is quite an odd piece of hardware as well, in the sense that the coins cause an interrupt, so they're more or less resetting the program flow every time you insert a coin. It's unusual. Usually coins are read as standard inputs, not interrupt generating. Doing quite badly this time, so this is not going to be a long credit. Should not really die on the first stage. No, that should not die there either. Sometimes the easiest way to play is by not looking at the screen. Although that also gets you killed sometimes. So yeah, that was borderline. Seen improvements in the last year or so. As has Tranquillizer Gun on the same hardware. Game over. Play Tranquillizer Gun. So this is your hunting game, really. I think that's maybe what puts people off. But you're meant to collect animals and drag them back to the trailer. So you can kill the snake. A scorpion, is it? There. And you pull it back. You carry it all the way back here. Now you get bonus points if you collect one of each. So if the number of the counter on the trailer says 1111 or 2222, it refuels it. But if you go past that and you end up with 2111, because you get 201 first, it doesn't. So you have to be careful about the order you collect the animals in. Also, you have to not do that. And the way you complete a level is actually by stunning all the enemies in the maze at the same time, and I think people miss that. Just from my own observation, half the time I see replays of this, people aren't advancing the stages at all. Okay, here we go. Now the next enemy type spawn should be an elephant. Don't want to get the other animals just yet. The elephant will be up there because it does telegraph when they're going to spawn. The elephant takes more hits, so you do have to position yourself more carefully. I'm a little bit out of practice on this, but this is 1980, so this is an early game, and it's got quite a lot of depth to the gameplay, really. Where's the elephant spawning? Out here. That's not helpful. Out there again. Too close. Now you can get back in your little truck and drive around the edges and reposition it, which I might do in a bit, but there's not always that much benefit to it. You can capture things by driving into them, I believe. but it's rare. Sometimes a little monkey will come over and steal everything you've captured, which seems to be random. I don't think driving around improves your chances of not getting caught by the monkey. And yeah, if you leave them in the maze too long, the timer decreases, and then they become enraged, and then they chase you down. They actually hunt you down aggressively, and the sound gets very violent. Is it one of you? I need an elephant. Oh, I need a snake too now. I can get the snake. Oh. I'll move out of the way. But yeah, I think this game is better than the reputation it has. It did get a release on one of the PS2 compilations, so Sega haven't entirely forgotten about it. There we go, got an elephant. Come on. Nope, where's European? Nope, where are European? Oh yeah, you can't drag them out the side of the maze, I forgot that. Which is a bit cheeky. Oh, got caught. Bit cheeky. That's my elephant gone. I don't hunt elephants, by the way. It's not a good idea. In real life. I mean, hunt them as much as you want in the game. But in real life, they're kind of endangered, and you don't want to be hunting endangered creatures. There we go. And that should give me bonus points, yeah. Let's see, and some more fuel. But yeah, let's go with the complete a level tactic then. So monkey down. Good. Nope. Saw it flash, didn't get out of the way in time. Same thing, saw it flash, didn't get out of the way in time. So I will not be completing the first round in this game. This will this go. I have another credit though. Let's try again. No. Oh, okay. I could. Oh yeah, you can not do that. Sometimes, yeah, the way to turn around is not always obvious. It's a strategy. If you hold down the fire button, you will fire a shot, but then you can turn freely without moving. I forgot about that. It's an important strategy though, so you can get into corners and turn around. Although, you know, if you do that, you are stuck without being able to move for a second. So again, you have to strategically plan it. This is where it helps. You see, I can do that. I can turn around there without running into the monkey. Now, I don't think I can actually... Yeah, it's not going to spawn the other enemies just yet. So I can't clear the level by having all of them dead at this point. I've got to wait until they are all active in the playfield at first. I forgot that. Actually, I'll let the snake become enraged so you can see what happens to an enraged creature. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. You get this sound effect while it chases you down. you know you've done something bad. There we go. I can stun it again. Let's take some more back to the truck. Now it should. No, it's not going to spawn the elephant until I take this back. Oh yeah. And sometimes it doesn't follow you very well. That's a slight annoyance with this game. Sometimes what you're meant to be dragging back gets a little bit stuck. Whatever, we're going to get another enraged snake. I'd better prepare myself. No, I say that and then fail to prepare myself. My earnings were only 1,360. Let's try again. I'm determined to get to stage 2. Once you get into the swing of it, it becomes easier. You just sort of get used to how to play it. Here we go. Let's clear out the snake. Let's prepare the monkey. And there we go. Now, once I've got the lion, it should start spawning the elephant. No, you can't shoot through things that are already there, unfortunately. There we go. Everything down at once. Moves on to the next round after giving you some bonus points. That is how you clear a round in Tranquillizer Gun, and you get quite a lot of points for doing so. You see, I think I'm already higher than the previous score I got. And now it starts with, everything spawning. Oh, wrong place. But, yeah, if you've played this one and written it off, it's probably worth another look. I don't like hunting. I think it's a terrible thing, but when converted into game form, it can actually work. There we go, elephant down. Come on, line. There we go, completed stage 2. Obviously, how you play it, if you want to drag them back to the truck or not, is up to you. I think there are advantages and disadvantages to both approaches. You do get more fuel between stages anyway, so it's not like you have to drag them back or you run out of fuel. I would like to complete stage 3. No angry lion. I'm not going to complete stage 3. Stage 3 I would have liked to complete because that is where the game would usually reset you if without the protection check fixed. But again, it's one that nobody reported really in 20 years properly, or nobody tied what was happening down to stage 3, or at least I wasn't aware of the report. I think people had mentioned it, but the instructions on how to actually complete the levels were a bit vague, and it just got buried. Sometimes you need an easy replay file or something like that. Anyway, shall I give this one more try? Yeah, I'll give it one more try. Got a bit of time to kill. Oh, what's coming after me? Come on, line. Obviously, you don't. It's riskier if you let the more dangerous creatures get enraged, because the lion takes more hits than the others, and the elephant takes even more hits. Whereas if the snake becomes enraged, it's usually a pretty easy job of tranquilizing it. Or pulling it along while it's about to time out is dangerous. Yeah, you see, because it just gets you. Not had any monkeys stealing my animals yet, although I've not been putting any animals in the carts. But that's one thing. If I was to try and play it that way, you might see more of. Maybe that's an intentional balancing mechanic, just to make it easier to get the matched pairs of numbers. I'm not sure. Just remember how many shots you've put in the creatures too. So any shot you can get in is helpful towards the total. You turned around. They're not stupid. I'm definitely not going to make it to round 3 this time anyway. It would also not behave properly on game over, and that's obviously fixed because you've seen several game overs from me already. There we go. Run straight into the monkey. Ooh. Shall we just play another vertical Sega game? Maybe a slightly newer one. Yeah, I think we should. Just briefly. I mean, got about 15 minutes left of this stream. Game over. Still. Another favourite. I'd say probably Sega at their best in terms of, you know, creative game design. And that is Gain Ground. One of the System 24 games that was on a floppy disk. Medium resolution monitor. Strategic shooter? I don't know what you'd call it. But it's always a favourite, and it's got a really good port on the Master System, I believe. So, there we go, some random static sound. I don't really know. That's not the best way to present a game, but might destroy the stream bit rate too, but we'll see. But you've got your characters you start with, and you pick up more characters as you go. Each one's got a different weapon. Different weapons are suitable for different things. So here I've got a spear, which means I can't get too close to anything. But there we go. And the little person on the playfield is one that people rescue. So if I can get you, and you have to get them out the stage to rescue them too, I believe, not just pick them up on the field. So there we go, got you. And I'll have that player available for, you know, now or any subsequent stages, unless I lose them. Because if I lose them and they die and they get left behind on the field, you don't have them again. And this, you know, there are other games that have a similar level of creativity. Jaleco's Field Combat is one I often find comparable in some ways to this, although I don't enjoy that anywhere near as much. And I can't even remember how to play Field Combat. So if I was to put Field Combat on, you'd probably see some very embarrassing gameplay while I have to learn it all again. You've got your little radar dish thing. And definitely a more strategic game than most. I guess people might say this isn't a very good arcade game. It's too slow paced. It requires too much thought. maybe sometimes that's what you want. Personally, I'm really glad it exists and think Sega did the right thing by making it and releasing it as an arcade. Oh dear, I've lost the character. You see, the character now is down there, so I do have a chance to rescue them again if I get to them and get to the exit within time. If I kill that last enemy though, before I get to the exit, it won't count. So I've got to get you, I've got to get out of here. And I have to get the other one, because there's two of them went down there. To be honest, this is a really bad performance on this stage. There we go, I've got my characters back. I'm running out of time, getting the hurry up prompt. Maybe not the best soundtrack for a Sega game, it's not something I associate, oh, if I'm memorable. There we go. No time bonus, but now this is where the weapon choice starts to become more important. You have to learn which weapon works best. Got this guy, but he, you can't fire up the cliff, which is a bit of a problem. I believe going this way is a mistake too, because things will spawn in. You see how dangerous it is in there? Indeed. The exit isn't always at the top, as you can see. Sometimes it's placed in the most inconvenient possible place. Oh, not getting me. Yep, they spawn behind you. Gotta be careful. Right, which one was good for throwing up? You're the better one at throwing up. Oh, you just got a gun. See, I can't get you. No, 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 no. You? No, you're just gun. Oh no, you have the grenade. No, yeah, you have that. Which, you do have a secondary weapon. Is it useful here? No. Problem is the secondary weapon only fires upwards. Yeah, I've messed this up. Very much messed it up now. So yeah, sorry, I was meant to be using your spear. Because this spear can throw that way as a secondary weapon. Yeah, that's what I'm forgetting. You have to learn the weapons, basically. I forgot that the secondary weapon can fire this way with this character. And I ran out of time and turned to dust. Apparently I can go to the next stage, but I've hardly got any characters left now, so you're in trouble when you get to this point without any characters. And it does go through sort of different time periods with different weaponry. There's not really much point in continuing if you die because you're at a disadvantage. I'll give it another credit though. It's not the best display. A bit out of practice on it. I don't want to continue. There we go. There we go. 3 players as well if you've got a few friends. Come on. Flying spear. Aha. You look like brave one. Maybe the actual gun would have been better here, but you know. Oops. Spear to the face. Take another spear to the face. opinions on this one do tend to be mixed. If you like this type of game, you'll love it. If you hate this type of game, you'll hate it. It's one of those. If you think you're going to play it like an action shooter, you are very mistaken. Oh dear. Yeah, this is why choosing the right person is important. Oh, no, I've got my ninja ball shield thingy, and I can kill people with that too. Oh, that's quite a nice one. Although it's not very, I mean, that character's quite slow. This character, you know, there's a disadvantage of each. But now I'm in trouble. I could go through rescuing all those, or I can try and exit the level and just not have them. Oh no, wait, I forgot to kill the people. You have to kill the people. Enemies. Well, it does tell you how many are left, so you know when you're going to kill the last one. There you go, you see. But I left those people on the field, and now I don't have them. And that is potentially a problem. I might actually make the stage impossible for myself by not having the right character with me. Because you can do that. Because you can't fire up either, can you? No, I have two characters, and neither of them can get those people. So you don't want to do that. That's a mistake. But yeah, that's getting ground. And yes, if you're not careful, you can make a mess of it like I just did there. I like it. I mean, people often don't like games where you can mess yourself up like that, but again, it's meant to be a strategy game. And strategy games often do let you do that. Where should we go next? I've been doing Sega all night, haven't I? Sega, and more Sega. Are there any other Segas in my list? Possibly not. I mean, I wasn't planning on doing all Sega. It just kind of happened. I could finish off on one final Sega game, actually. Yeah, why not? Let's go horizontal view. Give you a good 10 minutes of Bullet. One of the rarest System 16 titles. This is a twin stick shooter. It's a very rare one. And I'll play it shortly. Okay, here we go. Scrolling twin stick shooter. Oh, wrong keys. Now you go through your levels. Good music. These pads here recharge your energy, which is important because you really want to charge up as high as you can before moving on, because it drains quickly otherwise. Now this is another where it likely only had a very limited release, which again is a shame because, once again, it's a really good Sega game. But this one was elusive for many years until it was finally dumped, and to make matters worse, it was one of the ones with an encrypted CPU, so it was essential that it got done while the boards were still alive. Luckily it did. And again, it supports up to 3 players. I think we have to change the dip switch to get 3-player support. But you know, just like Game Ground before it, it's 3-player. Sega did a few of those actually. Hot Rod comes to mind as well as another Sega 3-player game. tunes really come to life when you've got headphones on too, the good ones. Something I've noticed. I might have missed some of the music in some of these Sega games before, but when you're playing through headphones, you notice it much more. I did put and more as well as arcade games in the title, but it doesn't look like there's going to be more. This became an arcade Sega stream. Maybe I should have expected that. Yeah, maybe if you say twin stick shooter, people automatically think of Robotron and not many of the others, but it doesn't look like Robotron was even the first twin stick shooter, because things like Mars, which I looked at on a previous stream, have an earlier date, and even the one of the Spanish Sedelsa games was twin stick, and that's got an earlier date. So I think Robotron was maybe just the one that made it really popular. This is quite Robotron-like in just how many people are coming at you. No, there's a lot going on for a System 16 game. And you've got to watch the patterns of where the beams are while attacking at this time, so it's an added level of complexity. So, you know, I'm gonna game over. Don't think you can continue either. No. No continues in that one. So that was Bullet. And that brings us to an hour and a half, which is, you know, what I was aiming for with this stream. So thank you to those who have been watching, and anybody who's posted in the chat. Merge87, thank you. Zed Reserve, thank you. It's been good. I'll probably upload this one to YouTube. I need to investigate that weird glitch with the YouTube donations coming through, because it's the second time it happened. I did a test stream last night and it happened. So thank you. It's been a learning experience in that sense, and I've got to play some good games that I enjoyed, and hope showing off a bug fix and maybe showing some things that people haven't seen before. So take care everybody, and I'll see you soon.